everyone, it's Tate and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. So I have made myself a pot of tea and I have lit one of my favorite candles, and I thought I would take you guys along with me on a plan with me video. This is specifically for the month of August, but also kind of a goal planning video as well. I know it might seem a little bit funny to make goals toward the end of a year, but I find that it is a little bit easier for me to stick with my goals when I don't make them in January. Something about if I start failing at the beginning of the year on the goals that I have previously made, I can get a little bit discouraged and just kind of not try them anymore, or not do them, or not pursue them and work toward achieving those goals. Let me know if I'm the only one who is like that. So I find that it's a little bit better for me to reevaluate in the middle of a year, maybe even a little bit later than the middle of the year. So that is kind of what this video is today. I'm actually going to be following along the prompts and questions from one of the videos of a recent YouTuber that I've been following. Her name is Simple Victoria, and the video that I'm going to be following is called How to Redesign Your Lifestyle. I will link it in the description box below if you guys want to check it out. But it's basically on how to cultivate and make small goals to achieve the lifestyle that you really want. And I just really liked her approach to making goals and kind of breaking them down a little bit easier. So that being said, let's hop into the plan with me. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is asking myself some questions and answering those questions. So I have them all typed up over here so I can kind of reference them as I go. But the way that she goes through the planning is she first envisions. So that's like the writing down what you like, what you don't like, and your overall goals. So that's the first part of the kind of goal planning. So the first thing that she asks you to do is to describe a day in your life. And then you kind of ask yourself, where are you now? What do you dislike, and what do you want to change in your current situation? And what do you like and what works well for you? What does an ideal day look like to you? Where do you want to get? Where do you want to be 2 years from now? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? How would you like to feel? And how would you like to be? So these are some really specific questions that I've actually never really asked myself. I've just kind of put like, you know, oh, well, I want to eat healthier, or, you know, I want to do this, I want to exercise more, but I've never really looked at my day and written down what I do like and what I don't like. So I really like this kind of mentality of looking at your current situation in life and be like, okay, what do I want to change? What is working? What does not work? And I just really like that mentality. So I'm going to be working on this for probably quite a while, and I will kind of show you guys when I'm done where I kind of came to the conclusion, what some of my answers were to some of these questions, to hopefully inspire you guys, and also to maybe just kind of get you thinking to your own answers to some of these questions as well, as I've never really thought of my answers to these questions. So I'm excited to do this, and let's get started. So I just finished writing kind of a typical day in my life. I do work Monday through Thursday, so I kind of just did one of those days. And already I've noticed I have all of these underlined spaces are when I go on my phone during the day. And it's kind of sad, honestly, reading that, but kind of good though to write kind of a typical day. So I think I'm going to do a typical work day, my days off / the weekend as well, because those days look very differently than what these days do, just to kind of get an overall view of what my entire week looks like. So I am about halfway through the questions now, and I'm kind of on the what do you dislike and what do you like about your current situation. So I thought I'd just kind of go over those a little bit with you guys. I don't want this to be too boring where I'm like going over every single thing, but I thought it would be a little bit interesting for you guys to hear. So some of the things that I really don't like that I saw as a running theme. One of the things is I feel like I'm always thinking about food, not really sure what we're going to eat, what's best for us, does it have the most nutrients in it, and it's just a little bit of an overwhelming thing, and I get really distracted by it, and I just find that I only think about that. I actually do that a lot throughout the day as I was looking through some of my normal days. I do a lot of grocery list making and doing research on my phone or on the computer for healthy recipes. I feel like food is one of those things that shouldn't be so complicated, but I feel like in today's society it really is. So that's something that I really don't like, is always constantly thinking of food. Another thing that I have found that I really don't like is I am on my phone quite a bit. And if I was like researching something that was really helpful, I wouldn't mind it as much, but I do find that I kind of shop a lot online. It's always secondhand, hence the thrifting in my YouTube name. But Poshmark and ThredUp, I can kind of get down rabbit holes in and get distracted really easily and just kind of find myself excessively shopping. I have a very small wardrobe, so I do need to kind of build it up, and that's another thing that I really don't like. I always feel like I'm trying to add more pieces to my wardrobe because it is fairly small and lacking quite a bit, but it is a little bit of an annoyance to always be on my phone looking for different pieces that I want to add and thrifting, and I love thrifting, don't get me wrong, but I do find that I maybe do it a little bit too much and focus too much on the shopping and kind of consuming, and granted, a lot of it is stuff that I actually do legitimately need, but I just hate how much I am always on my phone looking for those right pieces and shopping. Another thing that I really don't like, and this is something that is really important to me and I kind of want to focus a little bit more on my channel, is to cultivate beauty around me. I love beauty as in the beauty of nature and just really pretty and feminine things that I find beautiful. I am very much of a type of person who wants to cultivate a life that I love, not just kind of live day in, day out and do the same thing over and over again. And I'm finding that that's kind of the mode that I've been getting in. I haven't been lighting candles, picking flowers, watering my roses, playing the piano. I've just kind of been doing the bare minimum and nothing more than that. The environment around me is a little bit chaotic, not very peaceful, or I'm not cultivating that love of beauty and that creativity. I find that I can just get a little bit unmotivated and kind of meh. I don't even know if that's like a word or if you would describe that as a mood, but my mood gets a little meh, I guess I would say. And so I've noticed that I've just really not been focusing on any of that. So I brought you a little bit closer for this next part. And so then the next thing on my list was, what do you like and works well for you? So a couple of things that I do like, which I really loved this question, because I think sometimes when you're planning goals, all you're trying to look at is what can I change, what can I improve, rather than looking at the things that you really like. So I thought I'd just write down a couple of things and tell you guys some things that I really like. So one of the things that works really well for me is doing yoga in the morning. I try to wake up and take my yoga mat outside and do a little bit of a yoga session in the morning. I love yoga. It is my favorite form of exercise, and doing it in the morning just kind of sets a good tone for my day. It gets me outside. I love the morning. I'm 100% a morning person. I get that morning light. I hear the birds. It's just beautiful, and it puts me in a really good kind of headspace for the day. So yoga in the morning is wonderful. Drinking tea always is a good idea for me. It makes me feel a little bit more refined, if that makes sense, especially when I drink out of my teacups. And I know it might be something that's really little, but it just helps me, again, to kind of remind myself to enjoy the beauty, enjoy having my teacups, enjoy a cup of tea, and kind of forces me to slow down and enjoy things. So that's something that really works. Another thing that I find that I love is listening to calming music. I actually have a playlist on Spotify where I just kind of have my chill playlist. It's all instrumental music and I absolutely love it. If you want to check it out, I am on Spotify. It's Tatum Hubert and the playlist is called Pretty Sounds. So if you want to check it out, I will link it below if you guys want to listen. But I just find that really helps me kind of calm down and ground myself, and again remind myself of embracing the beauty of music and just sitting and listening to it a little bit. So those are just some things that I dislike and like. I hope this wasn't too boring, but that's kind of where I'm at now, and I'm just going to continue answering the rest of these questions. So as I've been working on the big picture goals, this is actually something that I struggle with the most, is trying to break things down into smaller goals. I find that some of my bigger goals are not super specific. So I sometimes have a hard time being really specific in my small goals. And what I'm trying to do with this is I am actually kind of writing a lot of small goals and then just trying to pick maybe like one to work on for that month. So I have a feeling this is going to take me a little while. So I'll be working on this for quite a while, and then I will kind of go over what I decided to do for the month of August with you guys once I'm done doing this. So I will work on this and I will get back to you guys in a little bit. All right, so after about an hour and a half, I think I have most of my big picture goals kind of written down. These are just some really quick things. So I thought what I would do is just tell you a couple of my big goals and how I broke them down. So one of my biggest ones is to continue being healthy, but not have to think about food all the time. So how I kind of broke down some of my smaller goals was I have to have a master grocery list, so that way I'm not making a grocery list every single time we go to the grocery store. Make a list of staple healthy meals to just have up on the fridge, so that way I can have some for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm not having to always constantly come up with something every single day to have us eat. So I think by having a list of healthy meals will kind of help. Again, this is not really like a ongoing goal. Once I have one, I'll probably just have to add to it as I go. Another thing that I find that I really struggle with is to be consistent with my YouTube channel. I absolutely love doing YouTube, but recently, especially with coming back to work, I've had a really hard time trying to be consistent with it and having ideas during the week. When I'm working during the week, I kind of really don't think about any YouTube ideas, creative type things. So I'm kind of wanting to remedy that by doing some of these. So one of them is to have a journal specifically for YouTube ideas. If I think of an idea, write it down rather than just kind of keeping the idea in my head. I feel like it would probably help me a little bit more. Having a set filming day, which I already try to do, but it does not always work. But I do want to try to have a set filming day. Having a video schedule is another thing, where maybe for an entire month I already have the videos written out on what I'm going to do. I think that would really help on cutting down on my decisions and kind of just flying by the seat of my pants on what I'm going to film for that week. So those are just a couple of my big goals. I do have other more inward goals for myself. I am a Christian, so one of the things that I'm wanting to work on is growing in my walk with the Lord. And so a couple of those small goals are to maybe read my Bible while I eat breakfast, read a psalm before I go to bed, have a journal that I write in the evenings, maybe go on prayer walks in the evenings, because I am trying to switch up our evening schedule as well. I'm finding a lot of the time that we spend in the evening, my husband and I, is we just watch a lot of movies and are on our phone a lot. And I feel like, while it's all really great, it's not the greatest use of our time. So I think even just going for a 20-minute walk in the evening would be really nice. Maybe start listening to some worship music in the mornings, or maybe when I take a shower. Again, just kind of little things to incorporate during the day so I can have a bigger picture goal. Those are just a couple of them that I broke down into little smaller goals. And so now I am going to start working on picking what goals I want to do for the month of August. And I will take you guys along with me while I do that. finished planning for the month of August, picking the small goals that I wanted to do. And not only did I finish that, but I also finished my entire pot of tea. So it's been a very productive morning. So I thought I would show you guys the things that I ended up choosing for the month of August. Some of these I kind of added as I went and kind of adjusted some of my goals. So for personal goals, I have to read the Bible while eating breakfast. I thought that would be a good one to add. That was something small, but something I've really been wanting to do. Write in a prayer journal in the evening, do my hair every morning, which again, these are kind of just small things, but I wanted to not go too crazy. Make a list of the wardrobe things that I'm wanting to find. Read through the book Atomic Habits. I've been reading through that, so I want to finish that. I have to schedule some doctor appointments. I want to pick a date night for my husband and I. Make a list of sewing projects and pick what I want to focus on for the month of August. And then for my health goals, I have make a list of the staple healthy meals. Do yoga every morning, which I pretty much already do. Go for a 10-minute walk in the evenings. I thought 10 minutes would be an easy way to start where it's not like an hour walk or something. I want to start putting my phone away during meals, drink 6 cups of water a day, eat 4 veggies a day. It doesn't have to be different veggies, but just 4 vegetables in general. Then for work goals, I have to write down 20 different YouTube ideas, plan my videos for the month of August, plan 3 theme days for the week, and that's kind of more for like housework that I'm doing. I want to also work on my YouTube banner, which is just something random for my work goals. And then financial goals are pretty small, but I want to save some money for my dream trip to Ireland. I only am doing $20 because I figured that would be pretty easy to do. And then also plan a monthly clothing budget, so I'm not spending all of my spending money on clothes. And then I just wrote down some important dates over here, and that is what I have for the month of August. All right, guys. So that was kind of the plan with me for the month, and also just goal planning in general. I hope you guys really found this inspiring, and if you do this yourself, I would love to know what some of your goals are and also how your month of August is going to look. Mine is pretty chill, so it's giving me some time to kind of focus on some of the more little things. My work schedule will slow down quite a bit come the middle of August, and so I'm kind of just wanting to focus on some of the list making parts of my goals. That takes me quite a while, so I figured that would be good, and I'm hoping this isn't too overwhelming. And what I'll do is if I find that I have too many goals, I'll just kind of adjust it as the month goes on. But if you guys enjoyed this video and if you like these types of videos, I would love it if you give it a big thumbs up because it really supports my channel. I also love to know if you guys do enjoy these videos, if you'd like to see them every month. I think it would be kind of fun to have you guys see, but also to keep me accountable for sticking with my goals. But that being said, I think I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.